Hello students, in this video we will discuss about chapter number 4 of chemistry, that is carbon and its compounds. Let's start. In our previous chapter, that is chapter number 3 of chemistry, we have studied about non-metals. That non-metals are the elements that will form electronegative compounds. So if we talk about non-metals, so most of the non-metals, they are having either 5, 6 or 7 electrons in their last shell. But carbon is an exception in that case. Carbon is still a non-metal, but it is having 4 valence electrons in its last shell. So about carbon we will discuss in detail in this chapter. If we talk about carbon, so carbon is present in plants, in animals, in number of things. If we talk about the examples, the things in which carbon is present, so are grains, fruits, vegetables, all the things they comprise of carbon in it. So carbon plays a vital role in our life, even our body, that is also made up of carbon, that is 18 to 20% carbon is present in our body. But if we talk about the abundance of carbon, so abundance of carbon in earth crust is only 0.02% in the form of minerals, and if we talk about the presence of carbon in atmosphere, so that is only 0.03% in form of carbon dioxide. So in this chapter we'll discuss carbon in detail. So what is there in carbon that makes it different from the other non-metals or from other elements? So let's start. If we talk about the valency of carbon, so most of the elements, their valency is either 1, 2 or 3, but carbon is having a valency of 4. In 9th standard we have studied what basically this valency is. Valency is the combining capacity of an element, that how an element will combine with other element. So we know that the atomic number of carbon is 6. We can show it that this is the nucleus. In first shell it is having 2 electrons, in second shell it is having 4 electrons. We can show this thing with the help of its electronic configuration also. That K shell it is having 2 electrons, L shell it is having 4 electrons. So in order to combine with other elements, in order to achieve the stable noble gas configuration, what it needs to do? It wants 8 electrons to be there in this last shell. That means last shell is completely filled, then only it will be stable. So in order to completely fill its last shell, what it can do? What all possibilities are there with carbon? So if we talk about the first possibility, in order to attain 8 electrons in the last shell, either it can gain 4 electrons from outside, or it can lose 4 electrons. But if this atom, if it gains 4 electrons from outside, it is having number of protons as 6. If it gains 8 electrons, so it will have total number of 8 electrons it will have. 4 it is having, other 4 it will gain from outside, so it will have a total of 8 electrons. But when it will gain these 4 electrons, so this will not be so much stable. Why? There is a specific reason for it, because whenever it will gain 4 electrons from outside, so nucleus, it will not be able to hold the extra 4 electrons. So this possibility is not there. If we talk about the second possibility, that in order to achieve the stable noble gas configuration, it will lose these 4 electrons and will become stable. But it also cannot do this. Why? Because in order to lose 4 electrons, it requires a large amount of energy. Hence, this is also not possible. So, third possibility is sharing of electrons. Sharing of electrons. What it will do? It will decide, okay fine, if I can't gain electrons, I can't lose electrons, so I can share electron with other atoms also. So carbon basically combine with the other atoms by sharing of electrons. Next is covalent bond. So what basically this covalent bond is, this is the bond formed by the mutual sharing of an electron pair between two atoms. I have stated you that carbon will combine by sharing of electrons. So whenever sharing of an electron pair takes place, so at that time the bond that is known as covalent bond. So covalent bond is basically the bond which is formed by the sharing of an electron pair. Let's see this thing with the help of a few examples. First of all, if we talk about hydrogen molecule, we know that hydrogen exists in this state, H2 molecule. So how it will exist in this form? We know that the atomic number of hydrogen is 1. That means it is having only one electron in the last shell. In order to acquire the stable noble gas configuration, it needs 2 electrons. So what it can have, either it will lose that electron, only one electron it is having, either it has to lose that electron or it can gain one extra electron from outside. But hydrogen will combine with other hydrogen atom using sharing of electrons. So let's see that. That will explain with the help of dot structure, that is Lewis dot structure. What will do in that structure? The number of electrons present in the last shell will represent those valence electrons with the help of dots, or sometimes we can use cross also. So hydrogen is having one electron in the last shell, so I have put one dot. Second hydrogen also having one electron in the last shell, so that also I have represented with one dot. These dots here represent the number of electrons in the last shell. When these two hydrogen atoms combine, so how they'll combine? This hydrogen thinks that, okay fine, I am having one electron, I need one more extra electron so that I will be stable. So it will share electron of other hydrogen atom, it will be stable. In the similar way, this hydrogen atom, this will also share its electron and now it will also be stable. So this is what? This is the shared pair of an electron. Whenever two atoms, they are sharing one pair of electron atoms, so that represents one covalent bond. So here it represents one covalent bond. We can represent it as like this. This represents the covalent bond. Covalent bond always form whenever the sharing of electron takes place. In the similar way, if we talk about chlorine molecule, so chlorine atomic number is 2, that is 17, its electronic configuration is 287. That means it is having 7 electrons in the last shell. So I have represented this thing with the help of 7 dots. This another chlorine also having 7 electrons. So what they want? It want that if someone gives me 1 electron, so I will be stable. This also thinks that if someone gives me 1 electron, then I will also be stable. So they both combine by sharing of one electron. So this, by sharing of this electron, it will acquire 8 electrons, it will be stable. This will also share the electron of other chlorine atom and it will also become stable. So here also the shared pair of, this represents the shared pair of electron and that is represented by a covalent bond. So this is how a chlorine molecule exists. Next example is of oxygen molecule. We know that oxygen atomic number is 8. So its configuration is 2, 6. That means it will have 6 valence electrons. That is the number of electrons in the last shell. So I have represented that thing with the help of 6 dots. So when oxygen molecule combines with other oxygen molecules, so how they will combine? This is having 6 electrons, so this will combine with the other 2 electrons of other oxygen atom and it will have 8 electrons. So it will be stable. The second oxygen molecule will also share the other 2 electrons of that oxygen and it will also become stable. So what I have stated you, whenever the two atoms will share one pair of electrons, so that is represented by a covalent bond. But here they are sharing 2 pair of electrons. So that will be represented not by 2 bond, that is known as, that is a special bond which is known as double bond. That is double covalent bond and that is found when the 2 pair of electrons are being shared between the 2 atoms. So that is represented by 2 bonds. In the similar way, if we talk about nitrogen, the nitrogen atomic number is 7. It's having 5 electrons in the last shell, so that I have represented here. The other nitrogen atom also having 5 electrons, so that also I have represented with the 5 dots. So how they will combine? This is having 5 electrons, it will require 3 extra electrons. So that it will share the 3 electrons of this nitrogen. In the similar way, this nitrogen, this will also share the 3 electrons of other nitrogen atom. In this way, this will also acquire 8 electrons, this will also achieve 8 electrons. Now they are stable. But in this way, they are sharing 3 pair of electrons. So whenever the two atoms will share 3 pair of electrons, so that is represented by a special kind of bond that is known as triple covalent bond, or simply we can call it as triple bond. So till now we have studied that covalent bond can be of 3 types. One is single bond, second is double bond, third one is triple bond. Clear? So this was about this. If in the similar way we can describe about water molecule also. What is the formula of water? That is H2O. That is 2 hydrogen atoms are combining with 1 oxygen atom. So here I have represented 2 hydrogen atoms. Now why 2 hydrogen atoms are combining with 1 oxygen atom? Because oxygen valence having 6 valence electrons. So it requires 2 extra electrons. If it will combine with 1 hydrogen atom, so it will achieve only 7 electrons, but it requires 8 electrons. So because of that, it will combine with 2 hydrogen atoms. So sorry. In this way, oxygen also have 8 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 electrons of its own and 2 electrons by sharing. Hydrogen will also have 2 electrons. This hydrogen will also have 2 electrons. So this is how a water molecule will be formed. Now here will not represent it with a double bond, because here this hydrogen atom is sharing 1 bond. This hydrogen atom is also sharing 1 bond. So in this molecule 2 bonds are there, but both the bonds are single covalent bond. So we will represent it like this. In the similar way, we can talk about methane also. The formula for methane is CH4. That is 1 carbon atom is combining with other 4 hydrogen atoms. So carbon is having 4 electrons, hydrogens are having 1 electrons. So this hydrogen also stable, this will also stable, this will, and this will also, and carbon will also have 8 electrons like this. So we'll represent it like this, that in a methane molecule will have 4 single covalent bonds. Next is the properties of covalent compound. We have studied how a covalent bond will be formed. A compound which is formed by the covalent bonding, that is by the sharing of electrons. That compound is known as covalent compounds. What all the properties this covalent compound will exhibit? So let's discuss that thing. First property, that strong bonds within the molecule. That is a covalent bonded molecule. It will always have strong bonds within the molecule. If we talk about the example of water, so in that 2 hydrogen atoms have combined with 1 oxygen atom. So these bonds are quite strong. Second one, that intermolecular forces are small. Intermolecular forces are, that is, if we talk about the 2 molecules, one molecule is this, the other molecule is this. So the force of attraction between these 2 molecules, that will be small. Intermolecular forces, that is the forces between these 2. That is the bonds of one molecule. But the forces between these 2 molecules, that is the intermolecular forces, and these forces are quite small, because of which they will have low melting and low boiling point. If these forces are very small, so by the small amount of heating only, these forces will break, hence they will show low melting and low boiling points. Next one, they are the poor conductors of electricity. Now how they are the poor conductors of electricity? Because a covalent compound is always formed by the sharing of electrons, and whenever 2 atoms share electrons, they will not develop any charge. That means ions are not present in these compounds. So if ions are not present, that means no free charge is present to conduct electricity. Hence the covalent compounds, they are the poor conductors of electricity. Next is versatile nature of carbon. What is there with carbon that makes it different from the other elements? So first one, the formation of both organic and inorganic compounds. Organic compound is a compound in which when carbon combined with the other elements, when carbon combines with other elements, when carbon combines with hydrogen and its derivatives. So carbon, hydrogen and their derivatives. So such a compound is known as organic compound. If we talk about inorganic, so when carbon combined with other elements, so such a compound is known as inorganic compound. So carbon having the tendency to form organic as well as inorganic compounds. Second one is catenation, that is the self-linking property of an element to form chain and rings. Carbon shows catenation. Now how it will show catenation? One carbon atom can combine with other carbon atoms. Why? Because carbon valency is 4. If I am not writing anything, so that means that here hydrogen is there. So in this way carbon can combine with other carbon atoms to form a long chain. So that is known as the property of catenation. Or carbon can combine with other carbon atoms also to form rings. So this is a ring. Carbon can combine in this way also to form rings. So this is also a ring. So in this way carbon can combine with other carbon atoms to form chains and rings. So this is the property of catenation and carbon shows this property. Third one is the tetravalent nature. Tetravalent nature means tetra means 4, as the valency of carbon is 4. So instead of making a cation or an anion, what it favors? It favors the sharing of electrons. So by sharing of electrons, carbon forms number of compounds by maintaining its stability too. So that is the tetravalent nature of carbon. Next one, carbon has the ability to form single, double and triple bond also. We have seen in the previous examples that carbon can form single bond also, double bond also and triple bond also. So these 4 are the reason about the versatile nature of carbon. But if we talk about in brief, so these two plays the major role. Basically the catenation and the tetravalent nature of carbon makes it different from the other elements. Next is allotropes of carbon. Now carbon exists in different physical forms and those forms they are known as the allotropes of carbon. So basically carbon is having 3 allotropes, 2 are natural and 1 is man-made. The first allotrope of carbon is diamond, second one graphite, third one fullerene. If we talk about diamond and graphite, so they are the natural allotropes of carbon. If we talk about fullerene, so it is the man-made allotrope that is prepared in laboratory. Let's discuss about diamond. We know that diamond is the hardest natural substance that is with us. Second one, diamond is having high melting and high boiling point because it is the hardest one, so its melting and boiling points are high. Third one, if we talk about the structure of diamond atom, so diamond atom is tetrahedron structure. Tetrahedron means one carbon atom is connected to 4 other carbon atoms. These dots they represents the carbon atoms here. So here this carbon atom is attached to different 4 atoms. Then further this carbon atom will also gets attached to 4 carbon atoms in this way, like this and so on. So this diamond is formed by tetrahedron structure. Third, next one, it does not conduct electricity. Why it is not conducting electricity? Because here the valence electrons of carbon here are completely acquired, because carbon is having 4 valence electrons, so they are totally acquired here. So it is not having any valence electrons, hence it will not conduct any electricity. Its density is high because in this the carbon atoms are closely packed, which makes its density high. If we talk about graphite, so graphite is a good conductor of electricity because in graphite one carbon atom is connected to 3 other carbon atoms. That means still it will have 1 valence electrons, 1 free electron it will still have. So because of that 1 free electron it can conduct electricity. So graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Next one, if we talk about the structure of a graphite. So graphite, basically one carbon atom combines with three other carbon atoms, making hexagonal rings, and these hexagonal rings are connected together to form one layer, and this one layer is known as graphene. Different graphenes or different layers, they combine together, and the intermolecular forces here, the forces between the two different layers is not so strong. So because of which the layer, if the forces between the two layers is not strong, so they can move a bit. So because of which graphite is soft, it is lustrous, and it is slippery, because two graphene layers can move a bit. So because of which it makes it slippery. Second thing, it is because of the slippery nature, graphite can be used as a lubricant, dry lubricant also we can use it because of its slippery nature. We have talked about its layer structure because it will comprise of different graphene layers, as there is a gap between these molecules which makes its density low. So its density is not so high. Third one, if we talk about fullerene, so fullerine's complete name is Buckminster fullerene. In short, we can call it as fullerene. This is a man-made allotrope. Now, the structure of fullerene resembles to the structure of a football. It is having a spherical structure. So, in this, basically 60 carbon atoms, they combine together to form one spherical molecule. So, it is considered as the cluster of 60 carbon atoms. In that cluster, it will have pentagons and hexagons. This fullerene, it behaves as a semiconductor. Semiconductors are the special type of conductors that will conduct electricity only under certain specific conditions. So fullerene behaves as a semiconductor. Next is hydrocarbons. What basically these hydrocarbons are? Hydrocarbons are the compounds that are made up of only carbon and hydrogen atom. That means whenever a carbon atom, it combines with other hydrogen atom or its derivative, so such a compound is known as hydrocarbons. Now we can still classify hydrocarbons as saturated hydrocarbons and as unsaturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons are the hydrocarbons in which one carbon atom is linked to other carbon atom using single bond. That means if two carbon atoms are sharing single bond, so such a hydrocarbon is known as saturated hydrocarbon. But if two carbon atoms are linked together either by double bond or by triple bond, so such a hydrocarbon is unsaturated hydrocarbon. Saturated means one single bond only. Unsaturated means either double bond or triple bond. Now the saturated hydrocarbons, they are alkenes. Unsaturated hydrocarbon we can still classify as alkenes and alkynes. Alkene is a saturated hydrocarbon in which one carbon atom is linked to other carbon atom using single bond only. Alkene is an unsaturated hydrocarbon in which one carbon atom is connected to other carbon atom using double bond. Alkynes is the unsaturated hydrocarbon in which one carbon atom is connected to other carbon atom using triple bond. So, if two carbon atoms are linked by triple bond, then it will be alkynes. If two carbon atoms are linked by double bond, then it will be alkenes. And if they are linked by a single bond, so it will be alkanes. Now, if we talk about the journal formula of alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. So, alkanes journal formula is CnH2n plus 2, where N represents the number. If the number of carbon atoms is 1, so N will be 1. If number of carbon atoms is 2, so N will be 2. So this is the general formula for alkenes. This is the general formula for this is the general formula for alkane. This is the general formula for alkene, and this is the general formula for alkyne. Now whenever we are required to write their names, so for that we need to remember few word roots. That if the number of carbon atoms is 1, so we'll call it meth. If the number of carbon atoms is 2, so we'll call it eth. If number of carbon atoms is 3, so it will be called as prop. If number of carbon atoms is 4, so it will be but, not but. We'll call it but. If number of carbon atoms is 5, so it will be pent. Number of carbon atoms is 6, so it is hex. If number of carbon atoms is 7, so it will be hept. If number of carbon atoms is 8, so it will be oct. Non for 9 and dec for 10. This series we need to remember, then only will be able to write their names. Now how to write the alkenes, alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. So this is the general formula for alkane CnH2n plus 2, where the value of n will vary from 1, 2, 3 up to n times. So if we talk about the very first, that is methane. Meth means one carbon atom. That means when one carbon atom is connected to only hydrogen atoms. So if you will substitute the value of n as 1, so what you will get is C as 1. In place of H, what you will get is 4. So methane is represented as CH4. If we want to draw the open dot structure here, so see, one carbon atom is connected to 4 other hydrogen atoms. So how this combination will take place? As the carbon is having 4 valence electrons, one hydrogen will have 1 electron. This hydrogen will also have 1 electron. This hydrogen will also have 1 electron. This will also have 1 electron. So in this way, it will combine with these. It will get stable. This will get stable. Like this, they will get combined. So this is a methane molecule. If we talk about another example, for example, let's talk about ethane. So how we are writing their names? I've specified that for 1 will write it as meth, for 2 will write it as eth, for 3 will write it as prop, for 4 will write it as but. So these are the word roots. Whenever we are specifying how we'll write, first of all we'll write word root and their suffix. Suffix for anes is ane, for enes is ene, and for ines is ine. So these are the suffix. Here carbon atom is 1, so meth, that is the word root, ane from this, that is suffix. In the similar way, eth and ane, it will represent alkene. What will be the formula for ethane? Here the n will be 2. When you will substitute the value of n as 2, so what you will get C2. In place of H, it will be 6. C2H6 will be the formula for ethane. So here 2 carbon atoms are connected. Whenever you are drawing their structures, so first of all, connect carbon atoms and then place their hydrogen atoms. One carbon is connected to other hydrogen atoms. So this is how it looks. Here 4 bonds, that means it has shared 4 electrons. They are also stable and it is also stable. So this was about alkanes. Next, if we talk about alkenes, so if it's an example, in case of alkenes, we have to represent it by double bond. So for the formation of double bond, at least 2 carbon atoms are required. So here the value of n will start from 2, not from 1. So methane is not possible here. Its series start from ethene. Eth means 2 carbon atoms, ene means double bond. When 2 carbon atoms are connected by double bond. So how you'll draw their structure? If this carbon, it has shared 4 electrons. Let's draw this thing with the help of dot structure. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Other carbon atom 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 electrons I have shown. These 2 they are sharing. One with this hydrogen atom, other with this and this. So this carbon here, it will have 6 like this. It will get combined here. So it will have 8 electrons of total. This will also combine with the 2 electrons of this carbon atom, hence it will also be stable, and hydrogen atoms will also be stable. So this is how a ethene molecule will be formed. Here one carbon atom two carbon atoms are connected together by double bond, and hence they are remaining valencies, they will satisfy with hydrogen atoms here. So this is the ethene. If we talk about, so general formula for ethene will be, substitute the value of N as 2, so it will be C2H4. This will be the general formula for ethene. In the similar way, we can talk about propene also. So propene general formula will be, N value will be 3, so it will be C3H6. This will be the formula. That means 3 carbon atoms are connected. Here we have to represent one double bond. Either we can represent it like this, or we can represent it like this also. So from any side you can put that double bond either towards the very left side or towards the very right side. But one thing you need to remember here, if you will place the double bond towards left side, so counting will start from left only. If you will place the double bond on the right side, so counting will start from right side only. So if I place it here, so it will be this, 2 valencies are satisfied from this, third and fourth. So this is how you'll place hydrogen atom. Its 3 valencies are already satisfied, 1, 2 and 3, so it will have only one hydrogen atom. It's 1 valency only satisfied, so it will have 3 hydrogen atoms. How many hydrogen atoms we are having? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. First of all, the very first step is to connect carbon atoms either by single bond or by double bond, and then remaining with valencies you will satisfy by hydrogen atom. In the similar way for alkynes also, that is ethyne. Eth will be the word root, ine will be the suffix here. So if we talk about ethyne, ethyne means 2 carbon atoms. So substitute the value, it will be C2H2. That means here 2 carbon atoms you have to connect using triple bond. So a triple bond is there between 2 carbon atoms. Their 3 valencies are satisfied, only one is remaining. For that it will connect to hydrogen atom. In the similar way, if we talk about propyne, that is C3H4. So how you'll draw it? 3 carbon atoms you have to connect it. As I've stated, here you can apply triple bond either towards the very left side or towards the very right side. So if I can apply it here, so its 3 valencies are satisfied, it will connect with only one hydrogen atom. Its 4 valencies are satisfied, so it will not connect with any of the hydrogen atom. It's only one valency satisfied, so it will connect with 3 remaining hydrogen atoms. So this is how a propene molecule will be. Now we have discussed about alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. So now let's discuss about chains, branches and rings. If different carbon atoms are connected in a linear way, that means one after the other, so such a structure is known as chains. If different carbon atoms are connected like this and one of the carbon atom is connected in between it, suppose here I have connected it. So this will be considered as a branched structure. If different carbon atoms are connected together so that they are forming a closed loop, so such a structure is known as rings. Minimum 3 carbon atoms are required to form a ring. So if you will connect 3 carbon atoms, so that ring will look like this. If I am not writing anything here, so that means hydrogen atoms are here. This is a ring of 4 carbon atoms. This is a ring of 6 carbon atoms which is having a specific name. This is known as benzene ring. So this was about chains, branches and rings. Next one is homologous series. Homologous series is a series of organic compounds which show similar structure and similar chemical properties in which successive compounds differ by only CH2 group. We have studied about alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. So alkanes will show its own homologous series, alkenes will show its homologous series, and then alkyne will also show its homologous series. For example, methane formula is CH4, ethane formula is C2H6. So this is the formula for methane, this is the formula for ethane. Now they differ. What is the difference between them? one carbon atom and two hydrogen atoms. So different members of these homologous series, they only differ by CH2 group. In the similar way, if we talk about alkene, that is CH2, C2, it will be H4. So this is methene and ethene. The difference between them is also of CH2. In the similar way, we can show it for alkyne also. So this is a homologous series of alkenes. This is the homologous series of alkenes. This is the next will be the homologous series of alkyne. So what we have studied is the homologous series. Next is the characteristics of homologous series. A different homologous series, what characteristics they will show. First one, a homologous series is represented by a journal formula. For example, the journal formula for alkanes is CnH2n plus 2. For alkenes, it was CnH2n, and for alkynes, the journal formula is CnH2n minus 2. So with this common formula, all the alkenes could be represented. With this common formula, all the alkenes will be represented, and for this journal formula, all the alkynes could be represented. So they all will have same journal formula. If we talk about next property, that two adjacent members differ by CH2 group. I have already explained in the previous case when I have explained about homologous series. If we talk about methane, so the methane journal formula was CH4. Next is ethane. The journal formula was C2H6. They differ only by CH2. So this is how that two adjacent members of a homologous series will differ only by CH2. Next one, difference in the molecular mass of two adjacent members is 14 unit. If the difference between two adjacent members is CH2, so mass of one carbon atom is 14, mass of two hydrogen atoms is 2. So it will be, I've written it wrong. The mass of carbon atom is 12 and of hydrogen it will be 2. So it comes to be 14. So two adjacent members here will, the difference in their molecular mass will be only 14 units. Next, similar chemical properties. We already have studied that homologous series is a series in which different compounds will show similar chemical properties and similar structure. Next one, gradual change in physical properties with increase in molecular mass. As the molecular mass increases, that means here the number of carbon atoms was 1, so they have some specific molecular mass. In this way, the molecular mass will increase if there is a gradual increase in the molecular mass. So these adjacent will show some changes in their physical properties also. Physical properties in terms of melting point, boiling point and density. So these are the characteristics of homologous series. Only this much content is there in your syllabus. Thank you.